SVG's Jason Dachman. We're in New York City at the 2023 SVG Summit. We're with longtime SVG friend Jason Cohen of CBS Sports. Jason, thanks for taking the time, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me again.
So you guys have a tiny little event coming up in early 2024. It just happens to be the Super Bowl. Not just for the Super Bowl, but overall in 2024, are there any big technologies, big production tools, things that you're keeping an eye on heading into next year?
Well, look, obviously the focus becomes the Super Bowl, and it's the focus for, 12, 15, 18 months, maybe even 2 years leading up to the big game. And you start to kind of brainstorm and whiteboard what can we do and how can we do it with every machination of an idea possible, right? And at some point you've got to dwindle it down and say, okay, what's practical? What's going to actually get in the game? The hardest challenge with a lot of the ideas is, what's the ROI? Is production going to be able to use it, squeeze it in? Are they going to be able to find a way to learn how to integrate it without a lot of reps? And is it going to help tell the story, right? Is it visually interesting? Is it going to help officiating make the right call on a big, pivotal play and so on? And so, look, there's a couple of things that we've got cooking for Vegas for the Super Bowl, which we're really excited about. And I'm sure you're going to probably want to get into them. We've been given a tremendous opportunity with having a Super Bowl in Las Vegas.
Sure.
This city is almost as big of an element as the game itself. And so, trying to find a way to take advantage of what Las Vegas has to offer, the glitz, the glamour, the scenery, so drones and fly cams and robotics, shooting the strip up and down Las Vegas Boulevard, the Bellagio and the water show, the Sphere. There's so many things to capture to make a part of the telecast and then get to the game itself. And I think we've got some cool things lined up for the game.
Yeah, I'm sure you do, and I can't wait to see once we actually get there. And that's just the beginning of the year. You guys have just an insane run during the spring, late winter and spring every year. What are you most excited about aside from the Super Bowl heading into next year? What are some of the big events that annually you always keep your eye on?
Right. I mean, look, like you said, right, it's always an interesting time, even sans the Super Bowl. The NFL season followed by the playoffs, the AFC Championship game, which is still one of the top three shows in the country every single year. And then we start up our golf season the same weekend of AFC Championship game. Look, I think moving shows to 1080p HDR is a big deal. I think integrating toys is always kind of a fun activity, whether it's more prominent drone case use, which you'll see at the Super Bowl, in golf and so on. We're adding a lot of 4K zoom extraction technology. I think in the Super Bowl we're up to 22 cameras that can take a 4K image and crop out the 1080p signal on that. And so those things I think what you do is we start to focus on the things that production gravitates to the most and lean into them. Right, like we did with super slow motion 10 years ago, where they were like, "Ooh, we like super slow motion." And so what you do? You wake up in a universe where now we'll have more than 24 Supermo cameras on a show in the Super Bowl. I think that's what you're seeing with certain technologies like the 4K zoom and so on.
Very cool. Well, beyond that, you got March Madness, you got Masters. I mean, no shortage of events for you guys. We can't wait to see what you're going to throw at all these events. Jason, thanks so much for taking the time, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the time, and congrats on this week.
Absolutely. We always appreciate you attending. For more news from the SVG Summit, stay tuned to sportsvideo.org, SVG Play, and the SVG YouTube channel.